Welcome out to a new episode of It's All Been Done Radio Hour. This week we have a new version of our Meet the Cast. It's a new cycle we're going through where we randomly pair up two cast members that hopefully don't know each other super well, and then have them interview each other. Our very first one, our guinea pigs were Chase McCants and Samantha Stark, so I hope you really enjoy their conversation. Before we get to that, I'd like to thank It's All Been Done Presents, our parent network, which has podcast, written work, video series, and more, including our annual short story contest, It's All Been Written. You can check out the winners of year 1 and 2 now, and very soon we'll be posting the theme for year 3, so you can get in on the goodness. The winning story gets made into an audio dramatization. The first one's already out, the second one should be out very soon. We've already recorded it. So, I hope you enjoy that, and we'll check that out. We'd also like to thank Mad Lab Theater, our wonderful host site. We've got 2 shows coming up there in December. On Friday, December 7th at 10:30 p.m., we've got It's All Been Done After Dark, which is a special non-canon experimental version of the show. And then on Saturday, December 8th at 5:30 p.m., our regular monthly show, but this one's the special holiday. Captain Cockay returns, Packard and Radcliffe return, along with a character in their segment that we haven't seen in quite a while. The Top Notch Tangler, all kinds of great, wonderful holiday type stuff. So come join us, get your tickets at madlab.net/tickets. Now enjoy Chase Meets Sam. Welcome out to another episode of Meet the Cast.
We're starting?
We are.
Oh shit, okay.
This is a brand new version of Meet the Cast in which we have 2 cast members interview each other and get to know each other better. And it was supposed to be random, and it still kind of is, but we had somebody call off today, so Chase and Sam are our guinea pigs.
Hi.
And you guys will talk to one another, and what have you always wanted to know about each other?
Well, let's see.
Oh,
He looked
shit.
terrified.
Yeah.
So scared. Chase is looking at me like, oh god, I don't want to talk to this girl for 45 minutes.
The worst.
I'm so terrible. You are very easy to make laugh.
No, I'm not. I hate
Oh,
laughter. Laughter sucks.
You're pretty easy to make laugh. What was your favorite moment on stage that you broke?
Oh man, I don't know. Hold on. I feel like there was one that, oh my god, there's so many.
Or just any that come to mind.
I'm
'Cause
trying to-
they're pretty entertaining.
There was one where I just couldn't stop laughing at all during the show. And I can't remember which episode it was or what happened. But I kept like turning around and giggling. And
Was
I remember one of them was when the guest star, wait, I wasn't on stage for that one, but when the guest star was in Daniel Kravitz, and he was just like screaming at the top of his lungs.
That guy, what was the...
Tommy Grabiak.
Yes, he was fantastic.
And I was just like, it was one of those things where I don't know why it was funny, but him screaming, just like I could not stop laughing at it.
Well, he had such a huge, booming voice.
Yes.
And he fully committed
so
to
British.
that character.
Yes.
And
You guys have not heard this episode yet, but it's something to look forward to.
yes,
Oh.
definitely.
Whoops.
This is why we have Jim
No, it's
here.
okay.
Yeah, just it was a Daniel Kravitz, and he played this like huge monster, and was just screaming, and his voice just filled the whole theater. It was amazing.
Plus, he was British, so I love his
Oh my
accent.
gosh, he was.
He was.
I remember talking to him afterward. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yep. I had a friend at my old job that we would have like British people just work there, and they would have to demonstrate the website. And so my buddy would always, he was the trainer when I wasn't being the trainer, he would always say, don't fall for their accents, because I always fall for British accents. So it's like, they could be fucking up, and I'm just like, it's nice, it's fine, just keep talking.
Just keep going.
And that's what he was like, except he didn't talk to me that much, so.
I work with a British guy, and his name is Nigel. And he calls me, every time he comes in, he goes, hey, sandwich, and I call him Noodle. So.
Aw, nudes.
Yeah, what's up, nudes?
All right, so.
Oh, you prepared with questions that were for Dan.
Well, I was on Reddit the other day.
Oh, God.
Someone posted a question, something on Reddit, and they linked me to the 36 questions that lead to love.
Oh,
And when
that's a
you-
great podcast.
So, given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? Second to me only.
Anyone in the world. So is this living or dead, or is this
It just
currently...
says anyone in the world. So I would imagine anyone currently in the world.
Currently alive in the world now. Anyone is a dinner guest. Ooh, I don't know. This is a tough one. Jeez. There's part of me that wants to be all like highbrow, but no, I want to sit down with I'm going to go with Ryan Reynolds. One, because he's very attractive, but he's super funny, and I just think, oh no, I changed my answer. I want to sit down and have dinner with Eliza Schlesinger. I think her and I would be best. She's a stand-up comedian. If you don't know her, you need to know her.
I don't like comedy.
You suck. But I want to sit down with her because I think her and I would be best friends.
Very nice. All right. Would you like to be famous? Question mark. In what way?
I would. But not like, high-level famous where everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's your picture, and I'm going to sell it for $1 million. But, I work hard, and I put a lot of stuff out there, and it's nice when someone likes your work.
Well, you have to tell me in what way you want to be famous.
I want to be famous for being, I guess, being talented and giving back to my community.
No, you gotta be more specific.
I don't know what.
Like, if I say, why is Barack Obama famous? It's
I want to be famous
president.
for a sex tape with a really hot guy there.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah. Well, my number one is The Rock,
after dinner.
After dinner
After dinner, we're gonna go have sex.
He's gotta wine me, dine me, then he can 69 me.
If I'm gonna have sex with a celebrity, it is going to be taped, and I am going to put it everywhere.
Look what I did.
Look who I did. All right. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're gonna say and why?
Not typically, no. My best friends growing up always used to get mad because I would leave forever long voicemails.
Oh, you're one of those fucking people.
Was one of those people. Who leaves voicemails anymore?
My mom.
Aw, that's cute.
I keep them, though, just in case she dies.
I keep my grandma's, yeah.
Actually, my mom kept my grandmother's voicemails, and then my grandmother died, and then my mom still has them, which is really, really cool. Because it's weird, like, after a while you start forgetting, like, what they sound like, or you remember a remnant of what they sound like. I still know my grandmother's, like, singing voice and speaking voice, but, like, if you ask me about my uncle who, like, died in, I think, 2003, maybe? No, I was still at home, so, like, 2002 or 2001, I'm like, I can't remember what he sounds like, so. All right. What would constitute a perfect day for you?
We would start our morning at the dog park.
Is this Ryan Reynolds?
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that, but really my number one, and has been since I was 15 years old, has been The Rock.
Really?
Oh yeah. I don't know what is even though he's like super jacked now, like.
Yeah. He went from one weird looking to another weird looking.
I do like WWF The Rock a little bit. Like that's when it started
with
for me.
With the weird hair.
Well, he didn't always have that high top fade.
Yeah.
It was after that. It was after the high top fade, but before the Uber.
Him shaving his head was the best thing he ever did, and then he got like super muscly, and I'm like, can't.
So I mean, I like muscles, but I don't want pecs as big as my boobs.
He's got them.
I know, but I don't know. He's been my number one since I was 15. I don't know. I'd do him no matter what he looked like.
Make sure you ask him questions too.
No, this is great. No, I like it this way.
I asked him the first question.
And then he can't ask you the next 36. Go back and forth.
We have so many more to go.
Well, you may not get through all 36. I'm sorry.
Then we'll have a part 2. So, your perfect day with Ryan Reynolds or The Rock?
Well, we'd start off at the dog park because I love going to the dog park with my dogs. It's a lot of fun.
It would have been real creepy if you didn't have a dog.
I know, right? Just go there. Let me just pet all of your pets, please.
Dog.
That dog is gorgeous. Look at those back legs. That gait is so sexy.
That is weird. Soup's weird.
What's your favorite kind of dog?
English bulldogs. Except we should probably stop breeding them because they're unhealthy.
There's a few different breeds, but that's a whole nother thing for me to get into.
So we've got the morning.
So morning, then we'll have, then my dogs will be passed out for the rest of the day, so that's nice. Then a nice lunch, Doesn't have to be outside. I mean, like, Panera or something. And then go to a movie and have dinner. I'm pretty simple.
All right. When did you last sing to yourself or to someone else?
I sing to myself quite often.
What was the last song?
I just make things up, like, throughout the day.
Oh, you're one of those?
Yes.
I do that, too.
I'll talk to my dogs, and I'm like, Essie, how you doing? And then she'll lick my face. I'm blah, blah, blah.
She's like, you're so weird.
Yeah, my dogs think I'm weird. If they could talk, they'd be like, I don't get it. So what was the last song you sang?
Night Figures by Copeland. I was playing video games before I came here.
Oh,
so I was
fun.
playing video games and singing at the
What
same
were you
time.
playing?
Red Dead Redemption.
Ooh, what's that?
It's a video game on PS3. It's like a Western, and the sequel is coming out. I can't remember when, but it's probably one of my favorite video games I've ever played, so I'm replaying it so I can get ready for the sequel.
Awesome. Do you know what Twitch is?
Uh-huh.
Do you watch Twitch?
No, I don't like watching other people play video games.
As my in an attempt to get me to stop obsessively watching the news, my boyfriend downloaded Twitch for me, and he made me set up an account.
Oh, nice. All right, so if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either your mind or body, either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? 30-year-old body, 30-year-old mind. Oddly enough, 30 was when my back went out, so I think pre-30, I think 31. So pre-30 be a really good time.
I think I would probably keep the physicality, because if I stopped mentally growing at 30, I just wouldn't make it worth it for the next 60 years.
That's fair.
You wouldn't learn anything.
I think it's like you wouldn't lose anything. Not
yeah, like you won't go
anything.
Well, my family, my grandma's 84, and she's sharp. She's on it, so I'm not so worried about the mental going, but she's had 2 shoulder replacements, her hips going, so just
all right. Ooh, do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
I will probably be killed by flipping off the wrong person on the road.
What a dick. I don't know if I'm talking about you or the person that's going to
The person,
kill you.
because goddamn, sure, I'm a girl, but I'm a good driver.
Stop flipping.
But if some asshole cuts you off, or they didn't do something right, or they turn into your lane without paying attention, I'm gonna flip off and scream at the wrong person, and I'm gonna die. So, what about you? That's a good question.
What?
How do you think you're gonna die?
I eat like shit, so I'm sure it's gonna be like some heart attack or something like that. But other than that, probably cancer. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it around the family?
No, I'm just pretty sure that's gonna be it. My mom had breast cancer, and I'm just terrified. And the only way, a lot of cancer, you just can't diagnose through your blood. Mm-hmm. So you might need an MRI or something like that. And I'm not paying for that, so I'm probably gonna die from that in the next few months. All right, name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. I don't know if that's insinuating that you don't actually have that in common, but maybe that is if we were partners, because this is supposed to be lead to love. So
oh yeah, so if we had just we're on our 3rd date,
we know one thing we have in common: randomly singing to each other.
And randomly singing to each other. We both love dogs.
I don't love dogs.
You love your dog.
He's
you would love
dead.
any dog that would be yours. Yes, I know.
Well, I'm also not getting another dog.
Well, you'd have to put up with mine.
For what in your life do you feel most grateful?
Honestly, I am pretty grateful for my sense of humor.
All right.
If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to get through half the crap that I've been able to do the mental gymnastics to get through. So yeah, my sense of humor has taken me through a lot.
You gotta laugh at shit, right?
Yeah, you do. You have a finite amount of F's to give about things, so laugh it off and move on.
If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
To play the piano.
Well, that was easy. All right, we're off to...
You.
What?
If you woke up tomorrow morning and have gained one ability, what would it be?
That was weird.
They're setting up the audio.
Probably invisibility, because I could look at people naked.
That'd be cool.
All right, set 2. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
I don't know. I don't have much of a it's that question like if someone could tell you what day you were going to die, would you want to know? No, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's not out of fear. It's just I have no interest to know, and I'd rather it be a surprise.
All right.
So, I guess I want to know what's in the depths of the Mariana Trench. How about that?
Water. Duh.
Yes, I love water.
All right. Is there something you've dreamed of doing? This is not the British speaking. Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it?
Something I've dreamed of doing but haven't done it yet. There's that arbitrary thing we all say, so I've always wanted to do that. Something I've been thinking about lately is opening up my own business. I used to train dogs, and I miss doing it massively, so much. Sitting at a desk is, killing not only my health but my soul. But I don't know. I would love to go back to training, and I haven't done it because I can't make the money that I do now, or get the health coverage that I do now.
Understandable. What about that place like Pilot Dogs or something like that? I mean, it wouldn't be your own company, but they train dogs for people who have sight issues, or have you ever wanted to work for them?
When I was living in Illinois, there was a program that I called Pits for Patriots that I was becoming a part of before I got the job here and moved to Columbus. So.
Okay.
But it's definitely something to look at.
All right. Let's see. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life?
Oh man. I think one of the greatest accomplishments was when I got my black belt.
Nice.
It was so awesome. My junior black belt I got when I was 13, and then you retest for your adult black belt when you reach 16. So I got my junior black belt, and I felt so cool, and I'd worked so hard. Not a lot of 7 to those ages are focused, and I was very focused. This is what I want, and I got it, and it was awesome. Then when I turned 16, I got my adult black belt, then my next degree, and won a lot of competitions.
Nice. I didn't know you were a black belt.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, what do you value most in a friendship?
The ability to not need to talk to each other 24/7. My two best friends and I, we've been, my oldest friend, we've been friends since we were 7 and 8. We met in karate, and then we picked up the other one when we were 10, and we've all been friends since. And we're in our 30s now. We could go months without talking to each other. It's just like we've never had time go by. So
nice.
I think having that, you shouldn't need that attention from someone to know that you care about them and that they care about you.
All right. Let's see.
Back to you.
What?
Same question to you.
What do I value most in friendship?
Yes.
Reciprocity.
Yeah.
There are certain people that I think are terrible at, you'll always be the first person to say, how's your day going? Or if they have a problem, explore it, and you don't get that when it's on your side. And I hate that. And usually that's how I judge really, really awesome friends versus not awesome friends, but just some people are not empathetic, or they don't think about it on the opposite side. And that's fine, but I tend to hold those people a little bit further away.
I can relate to that.
All right, so what is your most treasured memory?
I have one. I don't know if I should say it, though.
Uh-oh. Does it involve butt sex?
No, it does not. Not this time.
Then it's not.
No, it was when I was stationed overseas. We went to a little town of Montenegro, or little country of Montenegro.
Yeah.
Town Tivet, which is right on the water, and it's beautiful and amazing. And that one's gonna make me emotional. Someone I loved very much. We were in a relationship. We weren't supposed to be having that relationship, but it was just really like a magical little trip. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Here, I'll ruin it for you. What is your most terrible memory?
Oh God, my father berating me when I wanted to move out, telling me that I'm a horrible person and no one will ever love me because I'm too mouthy, and no one will ever care about me because
Well, he was wrong,
all
wasn't
of that shit. So, yeah, that was pretty awful.
All right.
Okay, I want both of those questions back to you. Your best and your worst, because you're getting me all teary. Now it's your turn.
I hate it.
And you want reciprocity, because I care about you. What was your happiest, most treasured memory?
Happiness pisses me off. Treasured. My most treasured memory. I think. Oh yeah, I know this one. So back in '08, my first band went on tour for the first time for like a week and a half. And it was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life, especially since like we were trying to make it like our full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the next step in being like a legit band. And I got to hang out with my friends for a week and a half. So that was probably anytime I'm like feeling super shitty and I'm like something to cheer me up, I always think about that week. Mostly, I would say cheer me up, but then also because I want to make sure I remember it just going forward. So
That's awesome.
recalling it helps.
And your the opposite flip side of that.
Most terrible memory, I would probably say like my last, oh man, there's so many. There's so many. All of my memories other than that are terrible. I don't know, like usually it's not death because like people die.
Circle of life.
Yeah, I would say it's a mix between like my last 3 months at AT&T when I worked there just because it was a super toxic work environment, or
I hate those.
it's just or the time after where I was like working 2 jobs and was just broke, and like I had like $40. Like if you added up all my bills for the month and my like income, there was about a $50 or $60 gap.
Yep.
And that was like a month, so it was like $30 per paycheck.
Oh, I've been there.
And so yeah, it was, and I was working every day, so that was a little tough. Yeah, I would say that's probably one of those two is my worst memory.
There's another thing we have in common.
What? Oh, work?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, Jesus. If you knew that in 1 year you'd die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you were living now, and why?
Depends on why I was dying. I mean, if I could change my diet and work out more.
Said you would die suddenly.
No, I don't think so. I outside of work, I'd probably just stop working. That would be what I would change. I would just be like, I'm done. I would focus on my writing for my last year of life and get as much out as I could. But other than that, no, I have, a great group of friends. I just love, the cast. And Fridays is game nights with a couple really close friends. Sundays, we have a routine that I really treasure. So
Nice.
I don't think I would.
Very nice. Let's see. Ooh. What roles do love and affection play in your life? I thought it was going to be roles as in like characters, but that's not what they were going for.
I like to. I tend to give a lot of love and affection. I'm kind of touchy. If you haven't noticed.
You've touched me.
I know. Like
43 times now.
But yeah, I like to. Now, which is funny because if I'm upset, I don't want to be touched. Just give me 5 minutes and I'll be fine, and then I can come to I think the roles love and affection play is just to let someone know that you're there, and ready and willing to talk if they are, and if they don't, whatever. Just being there is enough.
All right. So to bring it to a lighter spot, what is your favorite, what book has had the biggest impact on your life and why?
Oh man, I read a lot too. The book I read about, I think 2 years ago now, that I just absolutely adored, and I tell everyone to read it too, is by Frederick Bachman. It's called A Man Called Uwe.
Uwe.
Yeah, it is Uwe.
I used to say Ove, and then I found the.
Yeah, I listened to it. I listened to the audio version so I could know how to say these names, and I was like, oh, but I don't know. I loved that book. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It was really great.
Very nice.
And another, so that's fiction, but nonfiction. There's a book called Radium Girls by Kate Moore.
Is it the women who had to paint
Yes!
who were working with radiation and they would paint?
Before we knew radiation was bad. That was just so eye-opening.
I didn't know that was a book.
Yeah. It came out last year. It's fantastic.
Oh, okay.
It's so good. But I was like, my heart hurts, and just what those women went through.
Yeah.
And because, of course, they're women in that time period, they didn't matter. Right now I'm listening to Notorious RBG. And, just so, like, I'm placing, like, the books Code Girls and Radium Girls into this timeline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, gosh! So just the massive amount of non-care because you have a vagina is just heart-wrenching, and it still crap like that still happens.
Yeah, it's super weird because they, like, just the amount of care that was put towards workers in general, especially during the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
The lack of care, I should say, is astounding. But then you have to consider, like, if men were treated in a certain way, imagine how women were treated in those same environments. Often think about, the suffrage movement, right? So we think, people were respectful of women back then, but they would often be jailed. They'd be, you would never get the story of how they ended up messed up the way that they were.
Yeah.
Like, they'd come out of jail and, their hair be, disheveled, and they would have bruises, and so we never really knew what happened. But all these women were saying, let us vote, and there was such a strong push to not allow it. It's incredible.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And you only get those, like, years and years later, when it's okay to talk about it.
Well, there's a whole surge of books coming out about women in these time periods. Like I mentioned, Code Girls as well. Those are the women that decoded World War II messages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fascinating. And I'm like, man, just the stuff that they did and the things they had to go through just to work.
Yep.
It's heartbreaking.
It's incredible. All right, so opposite side, what was the shittiest book you've ever
Oh my
read,
gosh.
and
okay.
why?
There's this one book called The Housewives Dossier. And it's a whole series. And it's about this woman whose husband passed away. It turns out he was a secret agent, and they want her to be a secret agent now. And it was just so boring and poorly written, and it's really, I don't like shitting on other people's work, but as my boyfriend would say, you put your work out there, so you have to expect people to not like it. And not everyone's gonna like the same thing, but to me, I hated it, and I'm a completionist.
Oh, so you had to read
I
it.
was like, fuck, I gotta finish this stupid book. Thank goodness it wasn't that long. So now you're a reader too, so I want to know the same things.
I would say the book that had the biggest impact on me was probably... Oh, man. So I have to, I would have to say the Harry Potter series, because that's when I went from being a reader because, I was...
It was assigned?
Because it was assigned to me, to being like, holy shit, this is an awesome book and I want to read it. So I would have to say that series, but as an adult, I really enjoyed American Gods.
Oh, yeah.
Because what Harry Potter did for me as a child, and then, of course, going through college where we had to just read a multitude of full books, and, getting into film and not really reading all that much. When I read American Gods for a book club I was part of, I was just like, holy shit, this is awesome. I love the idea. I've always loved the idea of modern mythologies that have to do with gods and things, and I've always thought about writing a story about some post-apocalyptic world where you have the United States itself, but whatever caused the apocalypse gave a certain amount of people certain powers, right? And so you have this reduced population, but then the population that is out there, a lot of them are just normal folks, but then you have these people with superpowers, but it's not in the way of X-Men or superhero films, but if you could imagine the United States 100 years from now with a population of maybe 10% of what it is today, and lacking technology and just trying to survive, and then I'm sending you on this adventure to let's say Wisconsin or Minnesota, where there's this huge amount of trees, and you have to go visit this mythical witch who has these powers, or this sorceress or something like that. But what was cool about American Gods was that it put these kinds of powers in a more modern context of the internet, television, kind of how we love those things, and how they're vital to us. You really think about old mythology, where someone was the god of fertility, something that was important, or the god of rain, thunder, those things. I think it's really, really cool. Yeah, so American Gods was awesome.
Neil Gaiman's one of my favorite authors.
Yeah, he's fantastic
incredible
writer. Fantastic writer. Let's pretend, so you have a boyfriend, right?
Yes.
Tell your partner something that you like about them already. So I guess this is assuming that we were together, but if your partner was here, what would you say that you liked about them?
I like...
What's your boyfriend's name?
Ryan.
That's so weird.
Which is also my middle name, so.
That's also very weird.
Well, my email address starts with Samantha Ryan, and a lot of people are like, why do you and Ryan share an email address? And I'm like, we don't.
You do. It's cute. Love it.
Well, I have liked and continue to like his voice.
Oh.
He's
pretty soothing.
Yeah, he's got that soothing, very velvety voice.
Yeah.
We met in a training class at work. We don't work together anymore, but he sat like behind and diagonal to me, and I heard him speak, and I was just like,
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Very nice. Share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life.
I don't get super embarrassed easily. I talk, I sing, I sing to myself. I talk to myself quite often too. So like, if I'm trying to work out a story or a plot point while I'm writing or I'm stuck, I'll go walk one of my dogs or both of them, and then I'll just talk it out. And I have turned corners, full on conversation to myself, and like run into someone, and I'm just like, oh, hello.
Dude, easy way around that, put headphones on, they'll think you're on the phone. Straight
true,
over the
yeah.
headphones like this, because like a lot of them have microphones now.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
But then there's another one, like early morning, I'm walking my dog, and there's no one around, and I just let out a big fart, and then my neighbor had just come out, and I'm just like, oh.
Excuse.
What's up? I just keep walking.
All right.
What's one of your embarrassing moments?
I don't get embarrassed.
I see, like, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not easily embarrassed.
Yeah.
Embarrassed.
I just don't give a fuck. I think that's the reason. It's just because I don't
finite
care.
amount of fucks to give.
Yeah. All right. What, if anything, is too serious to be joked about?
That's a tough one. Because there's so many things that just come to mind, but, they're things that I cope through comedy. So it's really tough for me to say. Like, there's nothing that's off the table. I think one thing that would be, for me, and I'm already like, is joking on military members and their families.
Oh, so you must not like our president right now.
Oh, no.
Hopefully by the time they hear this, he isn't the president
I thought they were
anymore.
going to toss me into prison, you treasonous whore.
Oh, God.
No, massive amounts of not like for this person.
All right.
So, no, I don't think that joking about their deaths is funny, joking about what they do is funny, protesting their funerals, not right or funny, so.
All right.
What about you? I know you don't give a crap about a lot.
No, I don't, about joking.
Well, I mean, like, you don't, you know what I mean, like you had just said.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that embarrasses you, so.
So I think there are two ways to go about this. So if you're saying like off limits altogether, I would say nothing is off limits, right?
Yeah.
I think when you are a true comic, I got this from, I think it was Monique. So one of the cast members of, what was that show? So you know how
like
they
Last
had
Comic Standing?
No, not that one.
Okay.
So you know how they had like Rock of Love and Flavor of
Oh
Love
my
and all those
gosh.
shows, right? Oh, so they got some of those girls together for Charm School, right? And Monique was the first host of it. And it was to make them better, right? So one of the girls in it, she started doing comedy, right? And on her tour, she was starting to roast on Monique. And Monique heard about it and just, I guess, wasn't happy about it. And when it came down to it, Monique wasn't upset that she was being joked on, but she said, anytime you make a joke, and Lisa Lampanelli says this too, she does a bunch of racial humor and she's a white woman, right? But she says people can tell when you're making fun of them in a malicious way.
Right.
She was like, the reason that I can get away as a middle-aged white woman to talk about minorities using racial slurs is because people know that I don't really feel like this, that I'm playing a character, and
Right.
she doesn't go out of her way to make it obvious, but people know when you're making jokes to be shitty.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I think
Well, they're not even jokes.
No, they're not. But I think anytime, with any subject, you can usually make a joke out of and make it funny.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Even the thing I said,
Yeah.
there's a way to do it. It's just, for me, personally, there's not going to be much that's going to get me to laugh about that topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. And like I said even before, it's there's nothing that's off limits.
I would say there's
Tragedy
nothing...
plus time equals comedy is the classic
Yeah.
equation.
Yeah, but I think that when you touch those subjects, so I would say nothing is off limits, but when you touch those subjects, you have to really know that it's funny because there's a higher chance that you're going to fail
Yeah.
at making it funny.
No,
and
I totally
that's when
agree.
you get shit.
I agree.
So, are we done? We're done?
All right, so
Wrap it
final
up?
thing, what is your favorite thing about being on stage with IABD?
Being finished with it. I'm saying that because Jim's here. He just flipped me off.
What is your?
What about yours?
I'll give Samantha a second. What has been your? Wait, what did I ask?
Nope, you got your last question. You said
I asked
wrap
you what
it
your
up.
favorite moment is, right?
What's your favorite thing about being on stage?
Is the camaraderie and how well we're getting to know each other. But
Just kidding.
but one of my favorite moments with you, Chase, was when our first ComFest, when my character had to pass out,
Oh, God.
and you held on to me because you didn't know that I was supposed to fall. And I'm trying to tell you, let me go. So I just had to force myself to the ground out of your
Like
arms
she's gone.
so I could roll off the stage.
She's dead. It's over. Yep. I remember that. I was really confused. I was also very hungover. Which led to the confusion as well.
Well, Chase, thank you. Was it so bad talking to me?
Yes.
Oh.
It was horrible. This is probably the last time I'm going to talk to you for about a year. Thank you for ruining, 40 minutes of my time?
At least she did it in person, or she called you on the phone.
Oh, God. We already had that discussion.
I'm happy to have ruined your day.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too. We even have a secret handshake.
Yep. You bitches can't see it.
They'll keep it secret.
Uh-huh.
Well, thanks, guys. We'll be back next week with more Radio Hour.
Bye.
It's All Been Done Radio Hour number 151. Meet the Cast number 25, When Chase Met Sam. Starred Chase McCants and Samantha Stark. Please check out our website, it's allbeendoneradiohour.com, and support us at patreon.com/IABD. If everyone that downloaded this podcast just donated $1 a month on patreon.com, we would be able to bring you lots of great stuff that we can't currently bring you now, including more video series. We'll be back with another Meet the Cast new duo in a few weeks. So until then, have a great week. It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?